Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? And Toya says, gaudy gaslighting. Oh man, Toya, she has an issue. And I'm Waffles. I already clicked the link. It's in my history, right? Wow. Wow. So this is, and shout out to all of you that checked out the links. Um, this is Sovereign Black Woman. Sovereign Black Woman. She's cute. I genuinely think she is an attractive Black woman. She got her natural hair out, you know. She got some nice full lips. She's cute, you know, cute sister, you know. Look like an around the way Black woman, you know. And she is one bitter ass Betty. Oh boy. Oh, this lady right here. Oh, you one broken. If her face could be the face for broken. If there's a face for broken, if you look in the dictionary and looked for broken Black woman, her face would be there. Oh, you broken. Right? Bitter, broken Black woman. So for those of you who did not check the links, Sovereign Black Woman, I think she's child free. So, you know, I sometimes I think she's not, sometimes I think she is. I think she's child free. She's child free, right? Child free Black woman. I want to say somewhere in her 30s, possibly. I'm not 100% sure. She's probably said it before, but I watched some of her content, but not enough, right? So, um, single, child free, okay, right, fine, and speaks up on the glory and greatness of being a single, child free Black woman. Okay, great. But she does it in this way right here. For those of you that did not check the links, she speaks about body count and how men don't know women's body count. Stop asking about body count, right? Stop inquiring about body count. It's immature and it shows a lack of security. It shows insecurity. This is how Miss Sovereign Black Woman is speaking, right? When we as men are never going to know anyway, women are going to lie about it. Stop asking, and you're insecure anyway. Here's a joke, everyone. Imagine a woman telling men what they should care about when it comes from women. Oops. I know, men, that this is what you've been caring about since, I don't know, the beginning of human history. But could you stop caring about it? Especially you elite men, especially you rich men, especially you baller men. Could you stop caring about a woman's body count so that I can no longer be on the outs? I need the men that I find attractive not to care about body count, because it counts as a negative against me. We hear you, Sovereign Black women. We hear you. That's why I say let them talk, everyone. That's why I say the internet will expose us all. This lady literally put out a PSA to Black men, mocking them about caring about body count, because, you know, men want to be in a hole that another 800 men been in before. Huh? Yeah, that's it. Your average man wants to be in a hole that 800, 1,000, 500, 150, maybe even 50, 60 men done been in. Yeah, because men don't care anything about that. Oh, I'm sorry. Men do care about it, but we shouldn't care about it because that shows a lack of maturity. Only insecure men care about a woman's judgment. Oops. Only immature men care about a woman's vagina discipline. Yikes. Huh? Huh? Only insecure men would like to know that this is something that this woman only handed out to a select few, if no men, preferably, but okay, fine, a select few men. Only insecure men would like to know that he's special somehow. He's not just one of another 50, 100, 200, 1,000. Ugh. Right? I put this a little bit more recently, so this was in the past maybe 10, 15 minutes. I put another link of, once again, sovereign black women speaking about being child free, and essentially people that shame her for being child free and how loud she is about enjoying being child free. Ma'am, you've already exposed yourself multiple times. You are just one bitter, angry black woman. You're saying you're happy being child free. Fine. You know how we know you lying? And let me take that back. Actually, let's rewind. I think you are perfectly okay being child free. I think you're another Ebony K. Williams without the money. Oops. I think you're doing child free because the type of men that you would like to have a child with either keep passing you by, putting you in the friend zone, or are married already. Ooh, yeah, Mr. Z did hear the young man call up and say he works with you, and you were out here with a married man, and the wife ran up on you. Uh-oh. Huh? Uh-oh. Huh? Is that the issue, ma'am? Do you got to think for married men, and that's why you don't want to have children? Because the married men won't leave their wives for you? Huh? Is that the issue, ma'am? Or is the issue, once again, that the type of men that you would have a child with, or that you would do long-term relationship or marriage with, they're not taking you seriously? Is that the issue? Right? Number one. Number two, the young lady says you don't know and you'll never know as men a woman's body count. And she pretty much says, I could wear short shorts and go to Miami and be twerking and shaking my butt, and I wouldn't talk to any of those men, or none of those men can have me, and she kind of snickered about that. And once again, shout out to BGS. This is one of those women that get off on saying no to men. Okay, fine, that's your right as a woman. So she does things on purpose for men to approach so that she could get off on turning men down. Oh boy, grow up. Oh, so we still doing that. So, ma'am, sovereign black woman, are you one of those that count how many men you've rejected and you get off on it at night? Huh? Are you diddling yourself to all the men you turn down? You get orgasms off of that? I think you're doing this backwards, ma'am. You might be doing this backwards. That's hysterical. And Spain Man says, no bone collectors for me. That's hysterical. Right? That's hysterical. And that's all it is. This young lady is just another bitter, angry Betty. She's just another bitter, angry Betty. Whatever her situation is in life. And shout out to that brother who called into Anton. If what he's saying is true, then that explains a lot. That explains a lot. Right? So you out here with married men, and you laughing about the men that you reject, and that, oh, these men, they approach me, and they how does it feel to be turned down by HOE, a 304? Huh? That she was getting off on that. How does it feel to be turned down by HOE? Huh? You think I'm supposed to be a HOE, but yet I'm turning you down, and you can't have me. So when Mr. Z tells y'all, when I say that these women are in their late 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s, right? And they still sound like 12-year-olds and 7-year-olds. When I say they're petulant children throwing a temper tantrum, I'm not joking. Tracy Ellis Ross, Ebony K. Williams, sovereign black woman, Maya. These are grown ass women paying bills, being quote unquote independent, and their children when it comes to intimacy, men, and relationships. Huh? These are grown adult women. Right? pathetic. And these are the women that somebody's supposed to turn into a good, honest wife, Dr. Umar Johnson? Huh? Don't worry, Dr. Umar Johnson. You'll find a way to blame black men for this. Huh? FD, these are the women that you say that men are doing far more harm than them? Huh? Being a little bitter Betty with your little bitter Betty think pieces and disclaimers and warnings online, that's not doing any damage to the black community, huh? So if y'all look at some of the other links I have there, I have a link from Bleach, Captain Yamamoto, right? Fighting and pulling out his Bankai, pulling out his Zanpakuto and then using Bankai. And I think is that the first time we saw him use Bankai? I think that might have been the first time, right? And it's just straight fire. And that's why I say the Scorched Earth two-step. Women like this say, if I can't have what I want, to hell with everything. Burn it to the ground. Ashes, everything. If I can't have the men I want the way I want them, then burn it to the ground. Burn everything. And Scorched Earth for her is making sure to put other women in the same position she's in. You can't have me and you can't have any of these other women either. Right? Just a little bitter Betty. This is a grown-ass woman. This is what adult black woman temper tantrum look like. It's Ebony K. Williams, it's sovereign black woman. Right? That's what it looks like. Listen to her name, sovereign black woman. Yawn. You're just a big kid. Thank you, Vince. And another brother gets his passport. Right? You're just a big kid. I can have the men I want to bow down to me and kiss my ass, so to hell with everything. Huh? So if y'all click the links also for the songs, I have the song for when Captain Yamamoto from Bleach uses his Bankai. I have Ether, clearly, right? And I have On Fire Tonight by Cameron, because that interlude is absolutely hysterical. But that's another reason why black men, care about body count, especially for women who they plan on being serious with. Disease, ma'am. Oops. Huh? Illness, ma'am. That's why. That's another reason why. And so, yeah, Cameron and Jim Jones, and I want to say that was Jim Jones' now wife, who might have did the skit with him. But yeah, they made light of it, and it was kind of funny, right? And I want to say Freaky Zeke was there too, but Zeke was on it too. Yeah, they made light of it. Yeah, kind of funny, but dead ass serious. This lady want to go scorch earth for something that men have been caring about for ages. For ages, ma'am. You're never going to get us not to care about it. What man wants to be with a woman that a bunch of other men had? Unless you are the community bicycle. If you're the community bicycle, ma'am, you know it's funny. And you heard this kind of framing coming from sovereign black women. Because she says no to certain men, she thinks she's saying something. Well, not all of you can have me. Only the ones I find attractive do I lower my guard for, and I make it super easy for them. Right? this framing of, well, I do say no. I get off on saying no. Actually, yeah, what about the men you want? Huh? What about those guys? What about the men you find attractive? Huh? Fine, you have no problem turning down the guys you don't find attractive. Ma'am, that's human. Okay, yeah, that's it. You get all fun turning down the men you don't find appealing and attractive. Madam, that's human. Do the men you want you back, sovereign black woman? Huh? Do the men you find attractive, do they find you attractive, and do they find you attractive enough and appealing enough and interesting enough and resourceful enough and caring enough and smart enough for long-term relationship marriage, ma'am? Huh? Oh, I gotta read this one now. And thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And I am Waffle says, when you brought up Steph Co's pretty privilege video last time, I was thinking, what good is the privilege if they all wind up with the same result? Sovereign black woman is an example of that right now. We're watching it right now. We're watching it right now. Sovereign black woman, if you ever come across this, you are a pretty woman. You're pretty. It don't mean a damn thing. Clearly by your life results. You're an attractive woman, and clearly it means nothing, because if that brother that called in the Anton is to be believed, you out here being the side chick for a married man. While you make fun of brothers that what? That walk up to you and try to talk to you and you turn them down? Yawn. Right? As I Am Waffles is saying, what's the point? What's the point of your pretty if you end up being piped down by married men? Having a married man pogo stick up and down your esophagus, man. Huh? Okay, you're pretty. You're pretty, what, 30 some odd year old? 40-year-old? 40 some odd year old? No children, bragging about it? Cool. Feeling like society's trying to pressure you, and she did say it, to have children? Ma'am, we're adults. We are grown. You don't have kids because the type of men that you would want to have a child with, you haven't been able to bag them yet. And that's okay. You can say that. You don't got a lot to kick it, Craig. Right? Thank you, Venom K. You ain't got a lot to kick it. Right? Huh. They temper tantrum all over these social media streets. That's why I say let them talk. Let them listen, black men. Let black women like this talk. Let the women talk in general. I'm gonna go try to find that video that I put out, and maybe one of y'all, maybe I'm Waffles, somebody could maybe find this video. I reviewed it maybe 2 years ago ish. It was a white woman who was speaking about, we've done the work. It's the men that need to do the work, right? We've done the work. We've leveled up. We went to school and whatever she was saying, and we've done the work. It's the men. And I think it was, oh yeah, she was speaking about an article that might have came out, or a news segment that said the rise in single lonely men or something like that. So she was mocking the men, right? Making fun of the men and saying, ha, that's what you get because the women have done the work. It's the men. Right? Fast forward some 2 years later, something like that, a year and some change, 2 years later, and here's sovereign black woman. You don't know body count. You know, women are going to lie to you about that. Stop caring about it. Essentially what she was saying was, stop caring about that. Huh? Pathetic. Ma'am, men care. If you don't want, if you want to leave the black community, go to white society and see if they don't care. I don't know where. It's interesting because then you'll hear certain black women say, "Well, the white men don't care about body count like that." That's what you're telling yourself? Okay, fine. White men don't care about body count for white women. Uh-oh. Huh? Fine, let's go with that. White men do not care about body count for white women. Do white men not care about body count for black women? That's what we're going to say now? A white man does end up with a black woman. He don't care how many partners she's had, especially black ones. Uh-oh. Huh? Sovereign black women, men care. Get over yourself. Men care. It's immature. This is literally everything we talk about the sexual politicking. Shout out to Edward Anderson, right? And the different mating strategies, right? And beta Fs and well actually alpha Fs and beta cucks and whatever the hell we be saying. But yeah, no, this is a prime example of it. Because it doesn't rhyme when I actually try to say it without profanity. That's why Mr. Z can't get it out. But this is what we talk about. This is what we talk about. And that's what sovereign black woman is engaging in right now. It's not fair that men care about this thing that I don't think is that important. And it's not that you don't think it's that important, ma'am. You know better. It's not that you don't think that it's that important. It's that you're mad that men are that serious about it. And you might have, maybe in your circles, you might have played yourself out of wife-like situations. So maybe you need to move somewhere where men don't know you that well. But you've been pretty damn loud on the internet, so I don't know where that would be. I don't know where that would be. Huh? Yeah. So I'm covering this today because, and shout yourself out in the email. I mean, not in the email, but in the comments, someone sent this to me, and I definitely was like, oh yeah. Because sovereign black woman is generally a pretty woman. You are pretty, ma'am. That's not the problem. We keep on seeing these bitter, angry, loud women who try to make a movement out of the world not breaking itself to their will. Ooh, that's a good one. Thank you, low value Mel. That is a PC way of saying it. Thank you. And he says alpha smash beta cash. Thank you, sir. Thank you. The clean version. the parental advisory version. Thank you. Right? Thank you, Lithium. Pretty with a bitter personality. And that, man, that is sovereign black woman. It's not fair. That's essentially what she was saying throughout that whole stream, was her crying, throwing a temper tantrum like a 2-year-old. It's not fair. It's not fair that men care about this. Why do they have to care about this? It's so immature. It shows a lack of security. You're insecure. Oh, and we're black. And we live in the US. We're not even Muslim, ma'am. Jesus Christ. Take your ass to the Middle East. Let me know how that worked for you. Huh? It's not fair. I played myself out of position. So now I have an issue with these men caring about this. Y'all not gonna know anyway. Huh? Grow up, lady. You're not going to get men to not care. What you're going to do is get men to pretend not to care, have fun time with you for a little while, and then drop you. Yes, that especially includes, obviously, the men you find attractive. Huh? Sovereign black woman is every bitter black feminist's wet dream. This is a daughter of the Gynocracy through and through. Huh? Sovereign black woman. You are a sovereign black woman. Your title, your name says it all. So enjoy what that looks like. You don't care what black men have to think. You don't care what black men have to say or what black men think. It's perfectly okay, madam. Eat the consequences of not caring then. This is how we know that y'all want to break men. I'm glad that women like you are talking, because y'all prove Mr. Z's point and that I'm not a liar, I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not being hyperbolic. Huh? Madam, you do not have to care what black men think or say or how they feel. There's a consequence to that. There's a other side of the equal sign to that. Right? There's a other side to the equal sign to that. Huh? And that is what you're living, ma'am. Maybe that's why you out here with married men. Oops. Huh? And some of us have had those type of girl cousins or those type of aunts where they swear they like to be with married men because then they can send them home when they're done, and you know she's just a broken ass woman that can't make it work with no man. That's why she likes to be with married men. Huh? Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. We have those type of girl cousins, right? Those aunts, maybe some of y'all sisters, oops. Maybe somebody's mom, right? They swear they're okay with married men because there's no obligation on them. No, you're just a broken, insufferable woman that usually can't make it work with no man. So you tell yourself that to make yourself feel better about being a side chick. You're side chick material. And someone black woman, you're pretty. So you're definitely good looking side chick material. Right? Huh? Whoever it is that you were having fun with, if the brother is to be believed that called into Anton, yeah, your looks, at least based off of the looks, oh yeah, brag-worthy. Oh, definitely. Definitely brag-worthy. What that mean at the end of the day? Nothing. I hope you didn't think he was going to leave his wife for you. Once again, that's if the brother that called into Anton is to be believed. Huh? What did you think, ma'am? What did you think? Or were you thinking? Huh? Maybe you weren't. And once again, there's a consequence to that. Right? There's a consequence to that. If you don't care about what black men think or what men think or feel about body count, and you want to make a PSA about it to men, y'all shouldn't care about this. It's so immature. Well, men disagree with you, and we're going to show you what it looked like when we disagree with you. Huh? Just little bitter, angry women that mad that they can't break men to their will. These are the women that they revel in the gynocracy. They love it. As a matter of fact, Z, actually, let's rewind. Let's take that back. Their issue with the gynocracy is not enough black men are bowing and scraping and kissing their ass. This is like one of those radical feminists, the white ones that I covered some months ago, that were talking about heteropessimism. And one of them said something like, yeah, until this is a matriarchy. Sovereign black woman, oh. You're one of those. Sad. You're one of those. Sad. Huh? For all of us that might have used to hear a mom or a dad or an uncle or an aunt or grandma or granddad used to say, waste the pretty. Exhibit A. Exhibit A, right? Just mad at the world because she can't break men, at least not the men she wants, and then gets off on breaking the men that she don't find attractive. Ma'am, it doesn't matter. You're still super single. Don't tell me you're one of those I can have any man types. Ma'am, you can't have any man. Is it the man you want, though? Is it the men you want? Right? Oh, boy. This is why we cover these things, because too many talking heads in the black community act like black men don't know what the hell they're talking about. We're just a bunch of monsters over here. Ain't that right, Dr. Percote? Huh? We're just a bunch of sexist monsters over here. Everybody ignoring the women like sovereign black women. Little bitter betties. Huh? Over here putting salt in the game because the world won't bend to her will. Black men won't bend to her will. Huh? Throwing childlike temper tantrum, whole grown-ass woman paying her own bills, child-free, and trying to scorch earth everything because the world won't bend to her will. This is why I called it the scorched earth two-step. And if you're going to talk about twerking and dancing, ma'am, well, right, and turning down men, which is in your right to do. I don't even understand why women be bragging about this, right? Which is in your right to do, ma'am. We expect you to turn down men. But some type of, you get off on this. There's something that's very weird as an adult woman. Huh? Wow. So yeah, I'm covering this. Sovereign black women. So let it be known, and we already said this about Ebony K. Williams. It's not always even about how good looking they are or not, how educated they are or not. Right? These are just little broken ass 20 some odd, 30 some odd, 40 some odd, 50 some odd year old black women. Just little bitter black women, broken ass black women. And spare me to talk a black man is what broke her. Look at this lady. She gets off on insulting men and crushing men and mocking men. And her life is showing her what the results of that look like. And like I said, if the brother is to be believed, the results of that means that you're out here being the side chick to marry dudes while you mock men caring about body count. Ma'am, men care about body count. Get over it. We're always going to care about it. We care about body count, ma'am. It's not fair they care about it. It's not fair that the men that I find attractive care about body count. Why do they have to care about body count? Madam, if it meant nothing, you wouldn't be putting out this PSA. You would not put out this public service announcement if it didn't mean anything. Clearly, it does mean something, and it means something to the men you care about, the men you find attractive, the men you find appealing, the men you would actually date, the men that you would not mind having a child with. Yes, it does mean something. That's why you put out this PSA, ma'am. This is what, see, ma'am, this is what happens when you think you're that much smarter than everyone else, especially the men, is that you talk out your ass condescendingly, and then we all make fun of you, including women making fun of you. That's what happens when you think you're that much smarter than everyone else, especially the men. Shout out to all the women who think they could continue to do this, talking down on black men. Shout out to you, black women. Don't worry. You'll feel that in the morning. Right? This lady undressed herself in front of all of us. You exposed yourself in front of everyone, ma'am, by putting out this PSA. It was so super clear. Oh, that means she was out here. That, ma'am, let's say you were not out here and you never were. You just put this out because you tired of the conversation. Ma'am, with the energy you hit this with, now it sounds and looks like you were out here, so you might as well have been. Huh? There's a pun in there, and line says, if women want men to stop caring about body count, then women should stop caring about men's income. And there's definitely a pun in there. Right? I don't. Women do care about men's income, but they definitely care about that outcome too. Oh, I couldn't help it. I couldn't. The inner 12-year-old. I mean, if sovereign black woman's gonna sound like a 12-year-old throwing a temper tantrum, Mr. Z could engage in 12-year-old behavior also. Right? Huh? Man, this lady, look, good looking, snarky, sassy, condescending, gaslighting. Mr. Z could go on forever. And actually thought she could what, shame men into not caring by saying it shows what, insecurity. Ma'am, we're not coming up off it. Talking about coming. We're not moving, ma'am. We're not budging. We're not budging. Go find them. Go find that individual man, ma'am, who does not care about that. Go find that individual man that you find appealing enough that does not care about that, ma'am. And why would you care about a man? Talking about outcomes and incomes. Why does that even matter, ma'am? You want to be child free. What? You're child free. I'm guessing you're planning on being that way indefinitely? Huh? Just a little bitter sour patch kid, just bitter. Wow. And yes, black people, yes, black men, yes, people, this is real. This is a real black woman talking like this, a real adult. I want to continue to stress this. This is an adult that sounds like this. This is what adult black woman temper tantrum sounds like, especially from the ones that are not so animated, right? This is how they mock men. Huh? And they speak like they're above it. I'm so above it. Yes, Bowser engaged in this type of speech also. I'm so above it. I don't care about that. These little men. Isn't that how Sovereign Black Woman was speaking? Like these little men caring about this little thing. Ma'am, this is what we care about. Are you in or are you out? Is you in or is you out? Because if you're in, then guess what? We care about it and you will be regulated by this. You will be judged by this. Period, point blank. Go find the white dude, ma'am. Really wanted Jazzy Jeff her ass out in the goddamn black community if it was up to me. Right? Go find the white dude, ma'am. Right? You out here with married men anyway. Nobody cares about your opinion. If you think black men have an issue or men have an issue with body count, what do you think men or black men have to say about women who are the side pieces to married men? Oh boy. Huh? If you think we're judging off of body count, you don't, ma'am, if that brother that called in Anton is telling the truth, no, first of all, no wonder you sound the way you do. Because rumor probably is swirling around. People starting to find out that you was out here the side piece to a married dude. And that's really gonna hurt. Oh, forget body count. You a known side piece? Ma'am, men care. You're not going to get men not to care. Men care, ma'am. Women around the world are on the internet talking about their ick. Oh, the man, he gave me the ick. I found him attractive, but we went on a date, and the way he chewed gave me the ick. The way he walks gave me the ick. And yet you got this grown ass woman trying to defend women with a zillion body count. And what do you think that does to black men and to men in general? You don't think that gives us the ick, ma'am? Huh? Whole biohazards walking. You don't think that gives us the ick? Huh? You like the bio bag at the goddamn hospital with the body count, and you don't think that gives us the ick? And y'all gives you a second. I know I'm going through a dead zone. Y'all gives you a second. And we're back. Hopefully you guys can hear me. What's going on, Doc? And Dr. Thunder says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Take some of my sandwich money. Sandwich, hashtag sandwich gang. What's going on, Doc? Right, Doc, we over here talking about body counts. See, Doc would rather y'all be a virgin, right? Right? Which is understandable, because if we were all virgins, then maybe we wouldn't have this woman over here talking about how body count doesn't matter. Ma'am, we understand why. Right? And Lion says, how old is that video from Anton's channel? I did not check. I don't think it's that old. I don't think it's that old. I think that's I'm gonna tell you right now. Wait a minute. I'll tell you right now. Give me a second. 4 days. To Lion's question. 4 days. Right? Oh, you found it. Okay. Okay. I didn't read that on time. All right. Huh. What's going on, BGS? And BGS says these Miami chicks are on 10. You have no idea, BGS. You didn't grow up here. I'm telling you. You have no idea, right? Sovereign black women, grow up. Men care about this. The best you're going to do, the best you're going to get is whatever man you end up with in the future, if you end up with a man, if you're not going to be one of those golden girls. It's looking like you're going to be a golden girl, but fine. The best you're going to do is get a man who pretends not to care. Huh? That's the best you're going to get, ma'am. You're going to get a man who pretends not to care. I want to be very clear. Women can get men. That's never been women's problem. Women can get men. Is it the man you want? Uh-oh. Ma'am, you can get a man that doesn't care. You can get a man that doesn't care. Is it the man you want? Is it the type of men you find attractive? Uh-oh. Huh? Is it the type of men you find attractive? Put money, the type of men you find appealing, the type of men you would like to spend some time with, the men that you find attractive, guess what? They care about body count. That's why you made this PSA, because it's not fair. Ma'am, just like you're an adult, we are also adults, and we can read right through you, ma'am. Everyone saw what you actually did. You threw a temper tantrum. Huh? Whatever conversation you were privy to, whether it was about you or not, and so you put out this PSA to men to stop caring about body count. We care about body count. You know what men that don't care about body count? The men that don't have a choice. Any man with two nickels to rub together cares about body count, ma'am. Go end up with the bum ass dudes that don't care about it because they don't have a choice. Huh? Throwing a goddamn temper tantrum on how does Coach Greg Adams say it on Al Gore's internet? Huh? On Beyonce's internet, throwing a goddamn temper tantrum. It's not fair. Exactly. And low volume Mel says getting a man that doesn't care means getting a man that doesn't care about her. These are very juvenile conversations. The beauty, I'm going to keep on saying it, the beauty of the oversaturation of this relationship and intimacy and sex and body count and who's supposed to pay what and how the family structure is supposed to go type of conversation. The beauty of the oversaturation is that the women are talking without white media and white money getting in the way. And they're still trying to get in the way, but without white money and white media editing them, getting in the way, splicing the interview, splicing the conversation. Nope. The women are telling you straight out. Now, sometimes it takes some interpretation, like here with sovereign black women. That's why Mr. Z says the internet will expose us all and let them talk. When you let them talk, sovereign black women, everyone. You want to know why the birth rate is going down? Sovereign black woman, everyone. You want to know why the marriage rate is in the crapper? Sovereign black woman, everyone. Huh? When men talk about women's attitudes, sovereign black woman, everyone. How insufferable black women could be, sovereign black woman, everyone. Huh? how black get off on black men's misfortune, how they get off down men, huh? How they talk about body count, and she mentioned it. She spoke on it. How does it feel not to be able to get this 304? Thinking I'm a 304, but you can't even get me. Look at her attitude when she said it, huh? So when men speak about women and their nuclear rejection, or women's attitude and their snarkiness and their sassiness, once again, sovereign black woman, everyone, huh? And talk and say it, Vince. And FD signifier speaking about, oh, y'all scaring the hoes. And Vince is, and he's right, they scaring all the men away. No, you have it backwards, FD signifier. Lithium is scaring the men's, huh? I kind of cringe saying it like that because Themis and thought, oh, Z, almost, rewind. Themis and thought likes mocking us by saying schmins, right? And too easy, rewind, right? And so the brothers who are not who got their manhood card torn up and torched, right? Yeah, they like to mock us and be over there playing hopscotch with the women and backstabbing us. So that's why I don't say men's like that. First of all, it's not. I don't think it's grammatically correct, but I would say it anyway, even if it wasn't, or if it isn't. But I also don't say it because men like Themis who say smins to mock straight black men because we took his man card and torched it. And yeah, because not only because you're same sex loving, brother, but also because you're a hole. That part. And ooh, there's a pun in there. Ooh, rewind, Z, rewind. Let that one go. Let that one. Too easy. Too easy. Let it go. All right, we're back. Right. Huh. So I'm not gonna make this one too lengthy. I wanted to say another word, but I realized I just was speaking about Themis, so I couldn't say that. So this won't, this won't be a too much because it didn't have to be. She said everything that needed to be said. Dude really is though, Tro. Dude really is. Right? It's real. It's not even about a brother's sexuality. It really is difficult to these dudes in the way they speak, in the way they act, in whatever trauma or whatever bullying they dealt with as a kid or being excluded and now they're over there platforming damn their neo-Nazis like Cynthia G to get back at whoever said something about them when they were 15 or 12 years old. Huh? And they think it's funny. That's another person that need to grow the hell up. Hiding behind a law degree, bro. Nobody cares, bro. Big Kev, maybe. Dudes like that, bro. You see him all in Yanni's comments. He's doing lives with Crystal and Karazin. He's doing lives with Cynthia G. He's bro. I think I might have seen him in Paris Milan comments also once. And like, grow up, bro. Huh? So you just gonna take on black women's quote unquote issues with black men? Huh? I saw it. And LXST says Themis got smoked by Dr. Johnson on a panel, had him on the run. I saw it. But he thought he could use all that law degree stuff against Dr. Johnson. And got his. I don't want to say that. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to say that one. Right? Doing way too much. And compassionate. Short and to the point. Jesus Christ. See what happened when you mention these people? You can't even get a sentence out without being like, yeah, bleh. But yeah, and compassion says dirty macking to kick it. And that's all it is. That's all he's engaging in with the ladies. Groveling at their feet by regurgitating their talking points and their ideas about black men. As if he's not a black man. Huh? Themis, you can never make yourself non-threatening enough. You can't scrape enough, Themis. You can't bow. But Themis, you can't bow enough. I know you used to doing it. Grow up, Themis. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I said to FD. You're only one foul away from black women putting their foot in you. You're only one foul away. It doesn't matter if you platform the neo-Nazis. Huh? It doesn't matter if you regurgitate their words. It doesn't matter if you do a live stream with Crystal and Kerosene old drunk auntie ass. It doesn't matter, Themis. Y'all all find out the the difficult way. Whether that's you, whether that's Herbie, whether that's Funky Deneva. Funky Deneva said it, and I watch it happen. These LGBTQ brothers be all with black women, talking crap about straight black men, and they say the wrong thing one time, and black women step on them. Huh? That's probably why y'all had a problem with Saucy Santana. Because he told y'all that black gay men like him are the ones who's reintroducing y'all to y'all femininity or whatever he said, something along those lines. Huh? Grow up, Themis. You're one file away, and it won't take much. I know you. Oh, it's too easy. Ooh, I'm telling y'all, it's too easy. Too easy. Huh? Exactly. And low value Mel said, talking about Saucy Santana, he said gay black men are the blueprint. Imagine that. And like I said back then, that's what they get. That's what they get because y'all got way too comfortable. Huh? Claudia Jordan saying, "Oh, black gay men got way too comfortable." No, black women got too comfortable. That's what y'all get. Huh? Earth, that's really what it is. And Earth says, plot twist, black women hate everybody, including themselves. Earth, I know y'all not gonna want to hear it. And you know why that is? It's not fair, I'm not a white woman. White women aren't told to settle. I promise y'all it comes down to that. Y'all think I'm joking, I'm not. I'm not. At the end of the day, it comes down to myth of white womanhood. And I'm surprised sovereign black women didn't mention non-black women. Non-black women that have high body counts and they still marry rich and they still get to do this and nobody cares and white men don't care. I'm so surprised she didn't say that. Huh? And LXST says, but Z, didn't they say black men are the most homophobic? Yeah, they say that all the time, but the first thing that black women say to insult a black man, a straight black man, is to mention his sexuality. Right? And half the time, exaggerating, but many of the time, a LGBTQ brother like Themis will be standing right next to them as they mock and insult this straight black man and use all type of homophobic slurs. The funniest thing in the world. And fucking Geneva actually called the black women out for that too. Right? Oh, Rasta, no! And Compassionate says he's doing the same thing the chick's doing, taking out the frustration of getting ran through by Brad out on black men. A black American pastime. Yeah. Yeah. Right? Yeah, and BGS says secret love of white men and secret jealousy of white women. And that's something black women in particular, and apparently some LGBTQ brothers are going to really have to work on. Oh, it's disgusting, it's blatant, and actually it doesn't actually help y'all any. Black women, y'all not tired yet? Sovereign black woman, if you are a student of history, which you're not, if you are a student of history, how did the past 60 years fare for black women? Uh-oh. About 5-6 decades. How did that actually work out for black women? And the Black Enterprise Institute says, according to St. Louis Federal Reserve, single Latina and single black women have the least amount of wealth in America. Well, will you look at that? Right? How did about 6 decades, 5-6 decades, if we're being kind, how did that work for black women? A handful of black women, some in token positions, some actually worked really hard to get where they are, fine. A handful of black women with some real money and some real position, okay, cool. Right? And the rest are where? Uh-oh. Huh? So yeah, you got the Condoleezas and the Susan Rice and Susan Rice family been up there for a while before actually the end of Jim Crow, right? Actually, Roland Martin used to interview with her younger brother, right? So you have the Susan Rices and the Condoleezza Rices and the Oprah. Okay, cool, right? The Michelle Obamas. Okay, right? And what else? Uh-oh. Huh? And what else? The least amount of wealth in America. That's what your temper tantrum amounts to, sovereign black woman. That's what happens when you don't check black women's bad behavior, Themis. Huh? When you don't check black women's bad behavior, Themis, you get the black community that you have now. You get the black women that you have now. When you play patty cake with them. Huh? When you're not honest. Huh? When you're not honest about the temper tantrum and the jealousy of white women. You get the black women you have now. Themis, you're not just hurting black men, straight black men. No, you're hurting black women, Themis. by platforming Cynthia G. Themis, by speaking to her and about her like she's not a freaking problem, you're not just hurting black men, you're hurting black women. I know y'all don't care if there's some harm to straight black men. I know y'all don't care. I get it. But all you do is produce more Cynthia G's, more sovereign black women, more Ebony K. Williams, more Bowsers. That's what you do. All that so you can have somebody to hopscotch with, Themis? Huh? Sovereign black woman talking about no, men shouldn't care about body count. Man, if you don't get the hell out of here. Right. So on that note, everyone, we'll pause right there. Um, it's look, and it's crazy because I bought up Themis and whatever that brother got going on, whatever. But I should have never used that word, but I use it again. With that, there we go. Um, you would think someone who's educated as Themis is would know better and would know what the long-term ramifications of his type of platform, what it actually means for black women. If he actually cared, what that actually means for black women. Right? Look, I am Waffles doing the Lord's work. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me click that right now. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Wait a minute. It's not the one I think it is. Let's see. That's not the white woman. That's not Canadian sister, I think. But the rise. I'll just use that to kind of look for what I'm looking for. I'm gonna use that title and like kind of spam it all around YouTube and see if I can find the act the. Because I think she was on TikTok, but she was on TikTok, but somebody mirrored it onto YouTube or something like that. But it was like a white woman. This list is like I want to say she's in Canada. I want to say the one that you but I'm gonna still use this to probably do the stream anyway. But yeah, I think this lady is in Canada if I'm not mistaken, because I think she said something along those lines that kind of led me to believe that before. Yeah, right. But yeah, so um you would think that a Themis who is a lawyer, if I'm not mistaken, or attorney. There's a difference. I think lawyers didn't pass the bar, attorneys passed the bar. Um, Either way, a learned man will say, you would think he would know better. You would think he would know better. And you would think that whatever happened in his past or may not have happened in his past wouldn't color the way he speaks to and about black men, straight black men, and the way he speaks to and about black women. But alas, he has chosen his side in his allegiance, and that's perfectly okay. I hope he is still around and still there as we watch these women suffer in poverty and get kicked to the curb by the state because many of them are not even having children. So you didn't even produce the next generation of taxpayers. Huh? You didn't even produce a next generation that's going to look out for you, no matter how begrudgingly, right? Dr. Thunder says, I know. Shrell, after I said it, I hope nobody caught it. and oh no, that was Detro. And Detro says, I thought it was Dr. Thunder, I don't know why. But Detro says lettered and angry. Right. Lettered and angry, exactly. Exactly. And low value mail says lawyers went to school, attorneys passed the bar. Exactly. Right. Huh. So ending out, sovereign black women grow up. Themis grow up. Um, Sovereign Black Women put out this PSA. Y'all check the links in the description for those of you that didn't already. Shout out to Leon. Leon asked, "What did I miss?" Check the links in the description box. Sovereign Black Woman, cute sister. I find her attractive, right? At least from what I could see. I don't know if I ever seen her standing up before. Have I ever seen her standing up before? I don't recall. But nice lips, Cute sister got her natural hair out. Don't mean a goddamn thing, right? We already got over it with Chili and Maya and Ebony K. Williams and Tracy Ellis Ross. Genuinely attractive women, or at least used to be really attractive women, right? Taraji P. Henson, Halle Berry. What it mean? None of that mean any. The cute, pretty, attractive. None of it mean anything. Once they start talking, you realize why they're either single or why they're either single or why they can't stay with someone for too long. Thank you, Lon. She's attractive until she start talking. And then all the bitterness and sassiness, right? That's all she's spewing, just bitterness and sassiness. And to Themis, I say, bruh, grow up. Whatever childhood trauma you have, if you even have it, whatever bullying, whatever you feel like brothers ain't really respecting you that way, look at what you do though. Look at how you speak, right? Dr. Dunbar. Yeah, I saw her say that on her on one of her interviews. As a matter of fact, on a couple of her interviews. And Dr. Dunbar says, "Well, Mr. Z, Dr. Chris Marsh and her posse aren't having kids, but they are setting up trust and endowments for other people's kids." Which, shout out to Leon. This is the type of stuff that Leon says, right? At least be some type of resourceful, or be some type of asset to the group, even if you don't have children. Which, you know what? Fine. But Dr. Chris Marsh is rare. The way she was speaking, she kind of was alluding to maybe she earns $250,000 a year type talk. I'm not saying she does, but that's what it was giving me. But okay, she makes some type of six figures. Cool. Dr. Chris Marsh, do you know how rare that is? Especially for a black woman. Do you know how absolutely insanely rare that is? The average black woman is talking. We're talking about, once again, single black women with no children. They're talking a lot like you, like they're the rich auntie, but they don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. They're the kind of somewhat average-ish, stable-ish auntie. See, if Dr. Chris Marsh is truly earning that $250,000, like, share, subscribe, because Dr. Thunder just extended this maybe another 10 minutes. But if Dr. Chris Marsh is actually earning what it sounds like she earns, then okay, fine. Some 200, 150, $250,000 a year, cool. What is your average black woman earning? Under 40 grand? Under $40,000 a year? No child, not married. Yeah. Huh. So it sounds nice. And Dr. Chris Marsh goes through why you should be in a relationship, or why you should think about relationships differently. And when someone asks you, especially for the women, especially for black women, why are you single? You should ask them, why are they coupled up? Why are they married? Right? And all of that sound nice, and all it gives is, I'm tired of being asked and feeling a certain way about being single. And that ties us right back to the subject matter. sovereign black woman. Huh? So if y'all notice, I also have a clip, especially for those of you who might have came a little late to the stream. Had to do that because what we were speaking about earlier. One of the links in the description box is sovereign black women speaking about being child free and how much she enjoys being child free, and stop asking her why she's child free. Nothing wrong with that. I get it. It's understandable, right? But to Dr. Chris Marsh, I say, while sovereign black woman is speaking that way, and while you're speaking that way, the average black woman does not have it like that. They don't have the money like that. They don't have the stability like that. And so being single only exacerbates the issue. Right? And no, you shouldn't have children to rely on in the future. True. True. But not having children means you definitely don't have them to rely on the future. To rely on, excuse me, in the future. And so Dr. Thunder, I said Dr. Thunder, sorry, Dr. Thunder, Dr. Chris Marsh, I don't know why I said Dr. Thunder. Dr. Chris Marsh speaks on bolstering your network, right? Your friend circle. Because men come and go, right? Relationships come and go, marriage comes and goes. That's why you should bolster that friend circle, that network. Dr. Chris Marsh, I hear you. And I do think your network and your friend circles is important. I agree with her on this. Shout out to the women who can't keep a friend for more than 5 and 6 years, though. Uh-oh. I'm Waffles, don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry. And I'm Waffles says, it's a real cesspool of rabbit hole on TikTok looking for that video. LOL. If you find it, you find it. Don't stress yourself about it. Don't stress yourself. Hey, I'm look, I don't want it to be me and you and the likes of us to have to go to some type of mental hospital in the future because we've been watching way too much I don't need no man, swirler divester stuff, level up stuff. Yeah. Black men ain't ish Blackistan stuff. Yeah. Right. So yeah, I understand where Dr. Chris Marsh is going, and she made sure to specify that she's speaking about a certain class of women, right? Solely middle class, black people, black women in specific, right? The problem is that that's not where most black women are, the vast majority of them. So when they come across her book, it sounds nice and it sounds empowering. That's just not where most black women are. Right? And our Muffle says, we ride together, we die together. Bad boys for life, right? That's what Ochi says. When times get hard, women are going to see how cutthroat women really are. They'll see. We already know it'll be too late, but and I'm not for, and I want to be clear because I think I might be giving the wrong impression here. I'm not for women only being around men for the maybe possibly in case of emergency break glass boyfriend, in case of emergency break glass husband. I'm not for that. What I am saying is it's an important tool to have when you need it. Right? It's an important tool to have when you need it. Spain Man says there's going to be a lot of sad-looking family reunions in the near future with no kids running around. with the atomization going on in society right now, here's something for you. What family reunion? Uh-oh. Huh? With a whole lot of single, with a whole lot of parents having one child, and those parents come from single child families in the first place, right? So that's your mother and your father didn't have siblings themselves. Then they have you. You don't have any siblings. Then you have a child. That child don't have any siblings. What family reunion, right? Yeah, man. Pastor OG said, "Who's going to do the dirty work to organize the reunions? It's not easy." I'm saying, right? Earth said it'll be a bunch of hairdressers with 11-year-olds. Oh boy, right? So I put this out because I thought it was important to address. I see a lot of, not a lot of people, but a couple of people covered it. I wanted to put my own spin and angle to it because I think we all came to the conclusion that she was speaking about herself, right? I think where I come in, no pun intended on that one, is by saying she's throwing a temper tantrum. She is throwing a temper tantrum. She is being loud and throwing a temper tantrum. Hmm. And she's putting salt in the game. This is her trying to get us to believe, which some of us already do. Well, we all 304s out here, so it don't really matter. You don't really know your wife's and your girlfriend and your baby mama's body count anyway. We all 304s out here, so hey, now what? Hey, I hear you, sovereign black woman. I hear you. Stop counting because it don't matter. Hey, grow up, lady. Right? You're not gonna know anyway. Grow up. It's immature and it shows a level of insecurity. Right? So y'all check out the links in the description when you get a chance. Um, like I said, I put On Fire Tonight by Cameron. I put the OST original soundtrack song from Bleach with Captain Yamamoto when he goes Bankai. Um, and I put Ether, right? Nas's Ether as the songs. Um, as I said, this is the Scorched Earth two-step. Why Scorched Earth? Because what she's saying is, once again, what Sovereign Black Woman is saying is that it doesn't matter because most women are out here anyway, so it doesn't matter. Stop counting. Stop caring about body count, dear men, dear black men. Stop caring because you're never going to know anyway. And so for her, it's about saying that all women or most women are out here being 304s, so it shouldn't really matter anyway. So she really is about bringing down the stock of all women so that she doesn't look that bad if she has a body count, And clearly she has some type of body count because she out here with married men, according to the brother that called into Anton. So, right? And you could see what type of bitter woman she is because she also made a PSA or a think piece about being a child-free woman and stop trying to shame women like her because she's gonna be loud. And remember, I covered her. As a matter of fact, Dr. Thunder covered her before, and I covered it also, which was she was the one that said she's so loud about being single and being child free because other people are so loud about being married and having children and family. I'm like, you little bitter little, you feel like people are attacking you in particular because they're happy? Wait a minute. So you see family pictures on Instagram and you're like, why are you calling me out? Loser. So you see people at Disney World with the Mickey Mouse ears on and now you feel slighted, right? Ugh. And Dr. Thunder said, I just watched a video where a dude asked two black women their body count, and all they did was twerk, and with an exasperated look, one of them just said, "We some 304s." Come on. Well, the ones that own it just, you know, and I think it's the feeling of being free. It's the feeling of being liberated. It's the feeling of no constraints, no restraints. That negative liberty I speak about all the time. I get it. I get it. Especially if you're young. If you're a young woman, I get it. Right? Nothing's gonna slow you down. Right? You're gonna do what you want, how you want. To hell with the world. Middle finger to the world. Right? Yeah. Yeah. I would argue yes. Right? But I haven't read the book. But from the interviews I've seen of her, same thing. And Low Value Mel says same reason Marsh wrote that book, speaking to why sovereign black women put out these damn videos, right? Exactly. I'm Waffle says, stop throwing your kids in my face. Yep. Huh? I'm Waffles though. uh, I ain't even gonna say no pun intended on that one. I ain't even gonna say it. I mean, if sovereign black woman is out here with married men, I don't know if she's telling that married man to stop throwing kids in her face. She might be asking for that married man to continue to throw kids in her face. I'm just saying. I hope y'all kids ain't listening. I really do hope y'all kids ain't listening. Right? That's why I say let them talk, by the way. That's why I say let them talk. Let the women speak. That's the educated women, that's the non-educated women. That's the light-skinned black women, that's the dark-skinned black women, that's the mixed black women. Right? That's the West Coast, that's the East Coast, that's the down south, that's the Midwest, that's the Pacific Northwest, that's all of them. Let them keep talking. Blue collar, white collar, let them keep talking. Service industry, huh? Let them keep talking. That's white, black, Latino, Asian, or Latina Asian, South Asian, East Asian, indigenous. Let them keep talking. But especially for us as black men, let black women keep talking. They're going to tell you what it really is. They're going to tell you what it really is. Sovereign black women told you what it really is. It's not fair that the men that she finds attractive and appealing care about body count. She didn't use those exact words, but that's the sentiment. Huh? That's the sentiment. It's not fair that I feel excluded because the men I want care about body count. I hear you. I hear you, sovereign black women. It's not fair. I hear you. Right? It seems so. And Black Uru says black women in social media are hell bent on ruining the image and reputation of the collective of black women. That's what it seems like, right? That's what it seems like. Huh? What did Mr. Z walk into the Black Manosphere saying? The internet will expose us all. It's simple math. People in their need and want for 5 minutes of fame, right? Women in particular and their vanity, oh, their vanity. Black women in particular and them feeling starved of attention because they're not white women, Jesus Christ. Huh? Them feeling starved of attention, right? Them being jealous of black men's death. You heard right, huh? Black men get to be the buck, and black men get to have attention. Maybe what once or twice a year, if you're lucky, 3 times a year for unalived black men, particularly the ones that were unalived by the state, right? By an officer of the state. So you take that and then you put a camera up and a microphone. Oh yeah, black women are going to be talking. Oh, they're going to be talking, right? And that's what they've been doing on social media for over a decade now. That's what they've been doing. You look at them on Kendra G. Jesus Christ. It's I would argue, and I might get some pushback on this. I would argue it's even worse on Kendra G because Kendra G isn't offering the same pushback and the same reflective kind of speaking and really getting women to appreciate how they look, how they sound. She's not offering the same pushback that Kevin did. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. So the women are even worse on Kendra G's show. I would argue they're even worse, right? Plus, they feel more comfortable because she's a black woman, also, right? She doesn't offer the same pushback. Yeah. So I agree with Black Uru. They're hell bent on destroying their image. Excuse me. And they're still calling in the baby mama. The baby mamas. That's 3 kids. 3 kids. 3 men deep. No pun intended on that one. Well, I mean, if she's 3 kids and 3 men deep, then there's just an automatic pun there. So even if you take it away, it's still there. You're right. So 3 kids, 3 men deep. These women are still calling in insanely asking for the 6-figure man. It's still a thing. Oh boy. So I agree with Black Uru. Once again, black women in social media are hell bent on ruining the image and reputation of the collective of black women. Right? Spain man said, with one man chilling in the background. It's happened. It's happened. Calling in, right? Low volume mail says, it's a right. But yeah, no, I've seen Spain, man. It happens every once in a while. Call in, talking crap, looking for a man, and literally a dude's in the background. Right. What I find fascinating is how bold and what I find fascinating is how bold these women have become in the lack of shame. And the lack of shame comes from one very particular question. And those of you that are ahead of the game already know where Mr. Z is coming from or going. When Kendra G asked this very specific question, when was your last relationship? And when was your last, essentially, relations, right? Oh boy, and Victor Creed said, or a woman. Not a woman in the background, oh boy. Right? When was the last time you were intimate? Women have no problem telling you their last relationship. Their last real relationship could have been 5 years ago, 6 years ago, last year, 6 months ago. Right? But how many times does Kendra G ask? And I wish she would stop saying to people, "You don't have to answer if you don't want to." Stop. No, make them answer or kick them off. Make them answer. When was the last time you were intimate? And whenever she asks that, there's some of them that's bold enough to say last week, last night, last 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, but they haven't been in a relationship in 2 years, 5 years, 6 3 months, huh? Yeah, Faber, I'm gonna read this in a minute, right? Y'all like, share, some to the super chat. We doing overtime right now, right? We all over the place. Um, Damn, don't lose your train of thought, Z. Don't lose your train of thought. Don't lose your train of thought. Oh yeah, the Kendra G, Kendra G. So when Kendra G asked this, when was the last time you were intimate? And the women say, "Oh, I don't want to answer that." You answered it. You did answer it by not answering it because men automatically thought the dude's still in the room. It was yesterday. It was 5 minutes ago. It was right before she turned the camera on. Right? Oh boy. Oh, this is good, Vic. What you mean by this? And Vic says relationship is a perspective, not a time frame. Oh, go into that. Pause. Right. I got to give Kerry credit for making that question. Yeah. No. Yes, I agree with this. I agree with it. Right. No, this is not a reckless stream. Thank God it's not a reckless stream right now. Wait a minute. Come on. Oh, okay, there we go. Because I know I was Borgin. I know I was Borgin earlier. Right. And Faber says, look up the page called White Male Cope. And let me read that comment that you put up first. And Faber says, X is going nuts. Someone posted some back end code that allows certain wingnats pages to spew racism with impunity without getting kicked, and it's spreading like wildfire, and folks are calling Elon out. If you Okay, remember what I said to Jess when she called in um when she popped up on the chat or popped up on the panel however months ago that was. Remember what I said to her when she tried to compare us to the billionaires like Elon and Bill Gates and them. And remember what I said. You mean the Afrikaner? People need to remember when he was born and what South Africa was on when Elon was coming up, when he was growing up. If y'all don't see Elon for who he is, I don't know what the hell. Huh? Dude, you back who you want to back politically, whatever, but he has come out staunchly for Trump, right? Y'all saw the way he acted during COVID. Y'all have heard him speak. You know what country he's from. You know where his wealth, because Elon is not the first rich person in his family. He was born into money. Huh? So, hey, I'm just saying. And Christopher Clipper says apartheid born in the 1970s. Huh? If y'all don't see Elon for who he is, I get it, right? Fake ass Bizarro Iron Man. I get it, right? 12 kids, what, 3 wives? 12 kids, three, what, baby mamas or wives or whatever. Tesla, SpaceX, now quote unquote Twitter X. Sweet. You see what I'm saying? And Spain Man says Elon is on that make South Africa great again time. I'm saying. So, and remember, he's one of those that pushes that whole NPC thing, non-playable character. And for the Mr. Z is very careful with that type of language. You don't move the way someone moves. You don't think the way they think. Now they calling you a non-playable. Now you acting like an NPC, non-playable character. To me, that is modern day slow walking you into dehumanizing language. I know it sounds really light to a lot of people. That NPC thing, I'm real careful about that. And by the way, that's some very narcissistic language on top of that, if we're really going to get into it. Saying someone is an NPC, for all of my people that ever played role playing games or any type of adventure games, NPCs, right? Non playable, they tell. So the world revolves around you, and other people who don't move and think like you or you don't find interesting are just non playable characters. I don't know. See what I'm saying? And Afro National says Elon only like free speech when it comes to him and his cronies. See what you did there. And Trail says, well, he is African American. I'm saying, right? Paul Wilson says, does MAGA equal make apartheid great again? For Elon, it might mean that. Diaspora L says NPC is just background object at best, right? Spaceman says, hold up, Z. I don't know now. Some of these comment sections I go to, I'd swear I'm arguing with NPCs. Man. Because it look that NPC stuff, I never engaged in that because I'm like, I don't it just don't sound right. And then hearing Elon say it, I'm like, it definitely don't sound right now. It didn't sound right before, but now Elon's using it. Meh. Right? That's another thing. Just randomly calling other people bots online that you disagree with, right? That's another thing. Are there real bots online? Of course there are. Is everyone that you disagree with a bot though? Right? True, they be calling everybody bots. Man. Thank you, Trail. The main character syndrome. Everybody think they're a goddamn main character. 340 million people in America, something thereabout. 8 billion plus people on planet Earth. And many of us think that we're the center of the universe. Get out of here. Right? Venom K, yeah, that's true. If Venom K says, I mean, to upper class people, we might be bots. Yeah, to them. Right. To them, yes. When I'm not as a average ass black man, yeah, I'm just not calling other people bots. For bots, I could see me maybe saying that. I haven't used it, but I could see me maybe saying that. But the NPC thing, no, definitely not. Like I said, especially for those of us that remember back in the 90s and the early 2000s, JRPG games, that Final Fantasy type Star Ocean type games, calling someone an NPC and it just reminds me of actual NPCs and adventure games and in RPG games, and it's just yeah, no, I'm not saying that to anybody, right? The kind of canned responses you would get from a non-playable character on a RPG game or adventure game, and I'm calling somebody that, yeah, no, yeah, that's just craziness. And give me a second, Chaos. Give me 1 second. Let me click that. Wait a minute. Yeah, yeah, yep. Thank you for that chaos. Right, right. Everybody's talking about it. Come on, I'm. Don't worry. The political streams are on their way. Everyone, the political streams are on their way. Right. I still got to work with compassionate so we could do that stream about, and it'd probably be a panel discussion about neoliberalism. Not neoliberalism. Take that back. Take that back. About how did the term just slip my mind? Uh, t- 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 the Paul memo. There we go. Yeah, the Paul memo. Right. Well, but yeah. And Diaspora L says the NPC issue is the main part of the protagonist syndrome. Main main character syndrome. Right. Man. And Venom K says, and I agree with this, they view us as slightly less than human and you can abuse them. Yep. Or abuse us. I get what you're saying. Right. Yeah. That's why I'm careful on that type of terminology. To me, it is modern day version of saying they are ants. What show was that? Was that was that The Simpsons or was that Family Guy with Bill Gates? I want to say there was a part where Bill Gates and Homer, was it Homer? And they were on the helicopter and they were looking down and one of the characters said, "Oh, they look like ants looking down on the helicopter." And I want to say it was Bill Gates who said they are ants. Right? It was one of those like more adult cartoons. It was either Family Guy or The Simpsons. And me and my boy say that all the time. They are ants when we're kind of imitating that. It was Family Guy. Okay, thank you, or Family Guy, right? And that's it. I think that no, they really do see us as ants, though. I thought, oh, and Earth said use some Ultima Final Fantasy Ultima 7 NPC ninjas. I wanted to say Final Fantasy 7 so bad, but yeah, use some Ultima 7 NPC ninjas. Oh man. Good point. And Venom says, Black women view black men as NPC. They aren't listening when I'm angry. Why are they caring about body count exactly? No, they can be. PK says, hell, a rich person can be NPC. Yeah, they can be. Right? They can be. They can be. Right. But I'm careful with this NPC language or calling someone NPC coming from a particular type of person. Like when once again, when you see Elon using it, that to me holds a lot of weight. Right? Oh boy, let me go into black women's leftist bag real quick. You know, it's the power differential. Right? It doesn't mean the same thing when I say it. Mr. Z is really saying like it doesn't mean the same thing when we say it though. Right? No, if they're saying NPC, if Elon's saying NPC, that means a whole different thing than when you say NPC PK. That's a whole different thing. Right? Man. That's L says the best Final Fantasy is 3, 6 in Japan because there was no main character. The main character was the final boss who, spoiler alert, won mid to 65% of the game. Um, sounds familiar? My favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 8. Was That's my favorite Final Fantasy, right? I think it had outside of Final Fantasy VII's One Winged Angel, I think Final Fantasy VIII has the best soundtrack. right? The storyline was whatever ish, right? But the sound, I think it has the best soundtrack outside of One Winged Angel for Final Fantasy VII, because of course, duh, right? That's probably arguably the best song of all the Final Fantasies, duh. But yeah, Final Fantasy VIII to me was the best Final Fantasy. Well, take that back. I don't think it was the best Final Fantasy. It's my favorite Final Fantasy. I agree with a lot of people that say Final Fantasy VII, but I think a lot of the reason why we say Final Fantasy VII is because of the upgraded graphics that came from PlayStation Final Fantasy VII. I think that's why we pretty much like universally a lot of people agree that Final Fantasy VII might be the best one. Plus the storyline was kind of dope, right? So yeah, but my favorite is 8, right? 9 wasn't bad at all. 9 has a pretty good soundtrack also. 10 was dope because PlayStation 3, duh, good graphics, and the cutscenes were like damn near movie like. So that's why people that like 10 and 10-2 like 10. 11 was a what do they call it again? What do they call it again? Jesus Christ, MMO. There you go. MMO. 12 wasn't bad. 12-2 wasn't bad. 13, right? Did I get 13? 13 was the revised MMO? Yes. What was that 14? Oh crap, I forgot. I got both. 15 I played, I beat also. This new one, 16, I haven't gotten yet because I haven't gotten a PS5 yet because because I'm not gonna be able to play it that much. But I'm gonna eventually get a PS5 and play 16 also. So there you go. I actually usually as an adult, what I did with Final Fantasies is even if I didn't have the system yet, I would get the like best version of the game. 14 was the MMO. Okay, thank you. And thank you. Right. Thank you. Right. So oh yeah, and I like 12. I liked Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 12 was actually not that bad. Um come on. Okay, I guess I'm bored. There we go. Um yeah. Okay. And JL West says Final Fantasy 16 tried to be like Devil May Cry, but it failed. Failed hard. Okay. Right. I'll eventually cop it. I kind of already know certain things that I've watched some of the reviews on. I'm not gonna like the way the summons or whatever they're calling it in this game come about already. Cause see, I'm not gonna like that too much. I didn't really like it in was that 13? I want to say that was 13. Yeah, I didn't really like the way it went about in 13 also, but okay, whatever. Right. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I said it the wrong way. Okay, you're right. And Diaspora says 7 is mainstream. My favorite is 10, and it was on PS2, not 3. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. PS2 for Final Fantasy 10. And yeah, and the cutscenes were so. First of all, you thought that the ones on PlayStation 1 were nice. So that's Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 8 cutscenes were really nice, which they were. Especially 8 were really nice. Right? 9 not so much because 9 the scaling of the body on the characters were a little off, right? So the cutscenes were still crisp, but it didn't look so realistic because the scaling of the characters. Like the heads were on the characters were so much bigger than the bodies, right? Um but then when they got back to more human like figures on Final Fantasy X, oh man, them cuts, and then you dealing with PS2 upgraded graphics. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful, right, right, yeah, yep. 10 2 were not was nice. I like 10 2 with the all girl squad on 10 2 wasn't bad. 10 2 wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. And the fighting, the way you fight and change wardrobes to change your fighting style on 10 2, I actually really like that too. Right? I really that was kind of dope. Now we done went to video games. RPG, JRPGs, right? So yeah, yeah, that was dope. hmm Which one was it? Was it 12-2? 12-2 I liked also, right? Was it 12-2? Yeah. Was that 13-2? I might be. Let me give me a second, y'all, because I am mistaking something for something else. Give me. That wasn't a 12-2. It was 13-2. It had to be 13-2. Yeah, it was 13-2. It was 13-2. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yep. Yeah, it was Final Fantasy 13-2. Yeah. Yep. That's the one. That's the one I'm talking about. I liked Final Fantasy 13 too. Yeah. Yeah. With lightning. Yeah. 13-2. That's the one. Yeah. I liked Final Fantasy 13-2 because you got to use um your enemy. You got to fight and then like you. It was almost Pokemon, really, if you really think about it. 13-2 was low key Pokemon, and I always thought of it that way. Right. That was and it was actually kind of dope. So yeah. So on that note, everyone, look, Mr. Z, we started off serious, everyone. Now we're talking about video games, right? Right. So okay. So yawn for Miss Sovereign Black Woman um talking about this body count thing. Everybody saw right through that. Everyone saw. God, lady. Oh, and maybe that's why we can't find the original. I could find the original. I'm pretty sure somebody could find the original. I probably just didn't look, but yeah, that would be so dope. And PK says they need to remake Final Fantasy VIII, just like Final Fantasy VII remake is really dope. Actually, it's really nice. I have the first one. I haven't gotten part two yet. Um, but yeah, the part one. And I played it. Obviously, got almost to the end, and I stopped because why did I stop? I was waiting on part two to come out. That's why. But yeah, really good, really good. And watching certain scenes with just updated, more modern graphics, it's so dope, right? I think there's a couple of games, more RPG and action games from back Nintendo, Super Nintendo to excuse me, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1 era, um, that if you brought them up to date, right, with modern graphics, yeah, would be just off the chain. And that's the beauty of racing games. I get to see the difference between Gran Turismo 1 to Gran Turismo 7, right? I get to see that, and it's a huge, like just ridiculous difference, right? Oh yeah, Sega. I'm sorry, I forgot. How did I Sega? Thank you, Tro. Right? It's the difference is just crazy to see the difference in graphics, right? From especially for racing games, because if you're playing Gran Turismo, there's certain tracks that they just kept putting in every game, and when you see the difference, it's borderline awe-inspiring, right? And the different interpretation of the same track because of what they're able to do with the graphics now. Huh? And Faber says, why the f have they not completed Golden Sun for Nintendo? If you like Final Fantasy, you love that game. Okay, so that's something I gotta check out. You did say you go way back, Earth, and Faber is pretty much saying the same thing, right? Ah, man. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the graphics on these games has definitely gotten better. That shows you. I had to have a conversation, and I catch myself doing this every once in a blue with just random people. When you have to remind people how much we've advanced technologically over the past 3 or so decades, 4 decades, right? I see BGS say that every once in a while, uh, as a brother his age, but even from my age, like you remind people what cell phones used to be. I don't even got to go back to the 80s with it. You could just go from the 90s on up to remind people this is what cell phones used to look like, right? We used to be playing Snake on our phones. Now you playing a whole goddamn talking about RPG games. You're playing a goddamn RPG game on your phone now. The graphics are PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 level now, right? Forget one, right? Your goddamn cell phone is a supercomputer slash camera slash actual phone. I mean, look at the retailers that use it to print receipts. They use it to, my God, you use it and to scan QR codes. Jesus Christ, right? Leon, I ain't even gonna read that out loud. That's hysterical, by the way, right? Oh man. So yeah, modern technology is just crazy. And don't I'm gonna have to once again. I'm just gonna hold off for when I do the car stream when we start speaking about the advancements in technology when it comes to cars because that is a whole stream within itself. Dell said I used to love my Motorola Pebble. PK still going in about Final Fantasy VIII, and yeah, I heard this one too. And PK says to this day, the conspiracy is Squall died on his first visit encounter with the Empress, and everything after that was a lie. You mean the Empress on the at the end of the first disc when you fight her, right? And everything else was a lie. Right. I'm not going to tell you how long it actually took me to beat because yeah, I'm not going to tell you how long it took me to beat Final Fantasy VIII PK. Um, but definitely when I finally found the Empress at the end of one, I was like, oh crap, I'm here. I made it this far. Finally. Right. But yeah. No, Final Fantasy VIII was definitely dope. That is a good ass game. And I agree with you, they need to do a remake. Right. They need to do a remake. Right. So okay, let's end out right there. Let's pause right. Mr. Z was supposed to been in like an hour ago. Look at y'all. Right. So we'll end it right here. Shout out to the replay gang. I am sorry for going off to video game land on y'all. Because we started off talking about sovereign black woman, old bitter Betty ass, right? And now we're here. So, um, so love, peace, and chicken grease. We will pause right here. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Um, yeah. And Venom cases got to trick Z into staying extra time. No, we ended out right here. Mr. Z gotta go, handle some business and stuff, and go take a shower and go to sleep and whatnot. That too. Um, and Trell says, "I'm not gonna be long. 2 hours later, right?" And Dasperel says, "I skipped over Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and willing to go back, but it starts 6. Don't forget it. I won't. I won't. I won't. I won't. Right." But I think people really got on the Final Fantasy train with Final Fantasy 7. That's when people really got on the Final Fantasy train. right? Or is it that I'm saying that because of my age, right? Because I'm pretty sure if you look up um the the game sales, I'm pretty sure that's when it really starts to spike. Is 7 on, but that could just be me saying that, right? So, yeah. So on that note, because Afro National is agreeing with Trail, all right, we will truly pause right there. Y'all have a great rest of your night. I should be playing Forza right now because they just opened up A class again, and A class is my favorite class. So that's what I should be doing, right? So we will end it right there, and y'all have a great rest of your night. Mr. Z out.